Hey guys, Dan with GetTheSmokeOut.com. In this video, I'd like to just talk to you briefly about setting up a man cave. And there are two main points which really need to be handled in order to effectively smoke in your home without affecting negatively the rest of the home, while also providing a comfortable environment for you and your buddies. So, airflow. That's the first and foremost thing you got to do. If you can't contain the smoke, it's going to leak out. Homes are not airtight. If you can't contain it and control the airflow, doesn't matter what kind of filtration you've got in the room, if it's leaking out, you're going to affect the other people in the home. You're probably not going to have happy family members. Second part is filtration. And the primary and only real goal of filtration is, yes, you're minimizing the available smoke to impact the rest of the home. But that in and of itself, if all you do is filtration, if the airflow is still wrong, that's not going to do the trick by itself. So, that being said, you got to solve both problems. And it's not as hard as you would think. I'm going to grab a pen here. And, I'm going to draw a real quick house here. I'm not a real good artist. But here's your house. Let's say it's, a basement. And you want the man cave down here. Right? And now you've got your living room, kitchen, bedrooms, right? Your typical house. So the airflow control is going to make sure that none of the smoke here gets upstairs. First thing, HVAC. That's critical. If you're building a new man cave, do not put a central HVAC system there that's shared with the rest of the house. How come? Because an HVAC system is a 6-lane highway to redistribute your smoke upstairs. Not a real good idea. So, we don't want that. If you have one there, you're going to want to make sure that you close off the return vent at minimum, right? Because otherwise you're going to suck the smoke in and pump it out to the rest of the home. That's not a good thing. Ideally, close off all the vents. And when I say close them, I don't mean the little slider. I mean literally close them off. Either get a heavy-duty plastic sheathing, take the vent cover off, cover it, and put that back on. Make sure there's no airflow moving in and out. Or even consider closing off the ductwork, sheetrocking over. Obviously, your next question is, how do I heat and cool this space? Well, if it's in a basement, most likely the cooling's not going to be an issue. You may be able to get by with just a little bit of a fan. Heating, obviously that is an issue because basements are generally pretty cold, especially in the winter. So a little bit of electric baseboard down against the wall will provide the heat for the room. And that way you are minimizing any central HVAC system. Now, homes are not airtight, so look for things like pot lights. So if you have a hole in the ceiling with like a recessed light in it, that's a hole into the ceiling. Smoke's going to get up there. It's going to leak. It's going to breathe into the rest of the home. So do track lighting if you want ceiling-based lights, not holes in recessed lighting. Other things to consider if you're just building, you may want to consider spray foaming the ceiling. Look for insulated outlet boxes. So like you look at an electrical outlet, you've got basically, those are holes into the wall. So it's possible, believe it or not, that smoke can get in through your electrical outlets. So you want to seal up this room as best as you can. Whether it be spray foam insulation, whether it be, let's say you've got a door here, right? You're going to want to weather strip that door and make sure that it is tightly sealed as possible. And so here's the other thing. You're going to have people leaving and coming in and out of this room throughout your entire gathering with your buddies. They're going to go out to the bathroom. They might go grab something from the refrigerator. And so this door is going to open and close. And with it, smoke can leak out into the adjoining space, right? And if you've got stairs to upstairs, the smoke's going to drift up there. and before you know it, somebody upstairs is complaining that they're smelling the smoke. So what do you do with that? The last thing when it comes to that airflow control I talked about is consider a little exhaust fan. And it's a horrible picture, but you get the idea. A slight amount of exhaust pulling air out of the man cave and throwing it outside is going to create what I call negative pressure. And that negative pressure is critical because at that point, anytime this doorway opens to the adjoining space, if you've got negative pressure, meaning this exhaust is creating almost like a vacuum in the room. It's exhausting air. There's not much coming in. When you open up this door, guess what's going to happen? This air is going to come into the room. Two benefits to that. The smoke's not getting out, but you're also bringing in some fresh air into your man cave. Now, you don't need that much exhaust. You just need enough so it's negative compared to the adjoining space. That's also going to prevent things from leaking into the electrical outlets, right? Or into the pot lights. If you have negative pressure there and that a little bit of exhaust running, that will absolutely ensure that the smoke stays contained. Now that being said, the next thing is how do I keep me and my smoking buddies comfortable? And that's where I come in with getthesmokeout.com. We have filtration units. We have both floor models designed for homes and in small rooms. If you've got a 10 by 12 little man cave, one of our home units is going to be fine for that. Now, if you've got a bigger space or you're going to have 5 guys smoking, you may want to consider one of our SRS commercial units, SRS smoke removal system, one of our commercial units that you hang from the ceiling. And those units have commercial grade fans and blowers, which means it's going to filter the air faster. Now, if your entire basement is a man cave, look, that's a big amount of space. And if you've got a bunch of people down there smoking and hanging out with you, you may need more than one. You may need more than one. But obviously I can help you out with that. So my encouragement is try to solve the airflow issue first, because if you can contain the smoke, it's really easy to filter it out. Once it leaks out to the rest of the home, nothing in the room is going to go get it. The last thing I'll tell you is that we do have an induct UV light system that goes in the ductwork, and basically that unit will provide air purification for the entire home. So if you can't solve the airflow problem and there's a little bit of odors leaking in upstairs, we do have solutions called a Nano Induct by Air Oasis that can provide the air cleaning for the entire home, which would greatly minimize or reduce the odors that affect the rest of the home. So bottom line is airflow control, filtration. Filtration in the room is critical to keep the occupants happy. Airflow control is to contain the smoke and make sure it doesn't infect the rest of the home. That's some general guidance on building a man cave successfully, so you actually don't get booted out of your own man cave and told you can't smoke here anymore because I can smell the smoke up in the kitchen. Hopefully those tips are useful for you, but I would absolutely suggest that if none of this or any of this doesn't make any sense, call me. The number's going to be down below in the description or on the page here. Give me a call. I would love to talk to you. We can talk about your exact specifics, how you're doing it, and by all means, I'm here to help. So thank you for the time. Appreciate you watching, and we'll talk soon.